Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings Girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studio. I'm Rick Olson and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Viking Girls Basketball. Tonight, the 13-7 Colfax Vikings, who are 8-3 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are getting ready to take on the winless Elmwood Plum City Wolves in a Dunn-St Croix Conference contest. The Vikings are coming off a 53-44 hard-fought loss at the Elmwood Mounders last Thursday night, while the Wolves are trying to finally break into the win column following their 67-22 non-conference loss to the Independence Gilmanton Indies on Friday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Wolves and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll take a look around the Dunn-St Croix Conference to see where things stand. Then we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls Dunn-St Croix Conference game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. The Vikings are coming off a 53-44 loss to the Elmwood Mounders last Thursday. Meanwhile, on Friday, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves stepped out of conference play and were defeated by the Independence Gilmanton Indies 67-22. Now, in that Viking game against the Elmwood Mounders, the Vikings shut down most of the Mounders, but just couldn't find a way to stop Mounder Ellie Shizik and her 23 points. Now, leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was 5'7" senior Jada Anderson, who hit on 5 of 7 field goals, including a three-pointer, and went 4 for 4 from the free throw line for 15 points. She was followed by McKenna Shipman and Kaysen Goodell, who added 7 and 6 points, respectively. Leading the way rebounding for the Vikings was Shipman, along with Jeanette Hajdukovic, who grabbed 6 and 4 boards, respectively. Now, today, the Vikings would like to turn that effort that they showed on Thursday into a victory and gear up for the upcoming WIAA playoffs. Now, on the other hand, the Wolves are trying to put a notch into the victory column for the first time this season. Tonight, the Wolves are getting back into conference play following their 67-22 loss to the Independence Gilmanton Indies on Friday. Now, coming into tonight's game, leading the way for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in scoring is junior forward Haley Webb, who's shooting 40% from the floor as well as 56% from the free throw line, while averaging nearly 10 points per game. The number 2 scorer for the Wolves is freshman forward Ali Suave, who's adding another 5 points per game. Webb also leads the Wolves on the boards by pulling down an average of 7 rebounds per game, followed by sophomore Maddie Kopp, who grabs another 5. Now, so far this season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is McKenna Shipman, who's shooting 45% from the floor, including 35% from three-point land, in addition to hitting on 65% of her free throws while averaging over 14 points per game. She's being followed in scoring by Kaysen Goodell, who is accounting for nearly 8 points per game, along with Hajdukovic, who's putting in over 7 per game. Now on the boards, the Vikings are being led by Shipman and Hajdukovic with around 5.5 rebounds per game each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get Viking head coach Courtney Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
Yeah, welcome. Hi.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Dad, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age, some others don't.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. And before we get into tonight's game, let's take a quick look back at Thursday, where the girls were defeated by the Altmount Mounders 53-44 in a game that was actually closer than that score. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we played well overall. I was impressed with our energy, our effort, our ability to not give up, which I know, we've been known for that. I thought our defense was really good. I also was kind of disappointed with our start. We turned it over our first 5 out of our first 8 possessions. And against the good team, you just, you can't really do that. And they were able to capitalize on some of our turnovers. And, hats off to the Shizik girl. I thought she played an amazing game. And she played an amazing game, and, she passed the ball really well. And her supporting cast made shots too, and we kind of needed them to miss a few of those. So,
but in that game, the Viking defense, with the exception of Ellie Shizik, and she put up 23 points. That that's going to hurt. But you shut down pretty much everybody else. I was thinking the defense played a pretty decent game, with the exception of Shizik, and she's an exceptional player.
Yeah, for sure. Our goal was to try to keep them, in the mid-40s, and that would give us a chance, and I think that we definitely did. We just needed to make a few more shots and, like I said, not turn it over as much as at the start.
Well, tonight, the Vikings have the opportunity to, how do they say it, right the ship as they take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. What can you tell us about the Wolves?
I mean, I don't think it's a secret that they're really struggling. I don't think they've, won a game yet this year. And, but I definitely think that, they probably improved since the first time that we play them. And the Webb girl is very athletic. So we just have to make sure that we, keep her in check and try to clean up some of the things that, like I said, doesn't matter who you're playing. The things that we want to do always stay the same. And, just try to get better.
Now, back on January 4th, the Vikings defeated the Wolves 81-24. And after such a lopsided game, how difficult is it to keep the girls focused on this opponent?
I think we've had the conversation a few times about, not playing down to somebody else's level. And even though it's challenging, we still have goals and things that we want to accomplish. And part of that is a huge mental thing, I think, versus, physical. So just keeping that mental aspect in the game, and, every time you step on the floor, playing at a high level. And I'm going to challenge them tonight, because I know the first time we played them, we had way too many fouls. We were not playing defense with our feet, and that's not us. So I'm definitely going to challenge them and hold that to them this time around.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can get back on the winning track and start setting themselves up for those WIAA playoffs, which begin in only 2 weeks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
We all know what it's like to feel alone. But it just takes one new connection. Want to get out of here? To empower many.
This is unbelievable.
It doesn't take a superhero to bring forces together. We all have the power to reach out.
Let's go!
And help someone feel like they belong.
Pretty cool, huh?
We are stronger together.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. Today, the 8-3 Vikings will face the 0-11 Elmwood Plum City Wolves in a Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup. Now, in Dunn-St Croix Conference action last Thursday, the Boyceville Bulldogs defeated the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 51-41, while the Colfax Vikings were defeated by the Elk Mound Mounders 53-44. The Durand, Arkansas Panthers handled the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 59-21, and the Mondovi Buffaloes topped the Spring Valley Cardinals 70-43. Then on Friday, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves stepped out of conference play to take on the Independence Gilmanton Indies, with the Indies coming out on top in that one 67-22. That leaves the Dunn-St Croix Conference standings as follows. In first place are the unbeaten at 10-0 Elk Mound Mounders. In a tie for second place and 2.5 games back at 8-3 are the Colfax Vikings and the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. In fourth place are the Mondovi Buffaloes at 7-4 and 3.5 games back, with the Spring Valley Cardinals holding down fifth at 5-6 and 5.5 games back, while sixth place belongs to the 3-7 Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The 2-9 Boyceville Bulldogs are in 7th, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves occupy 8th place. Tonight, the Dunn-St Croix Conference has a full slate of conference contests. That includes the Vikings taking on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in Colfax, while the Elk Mound Mounders travel to Spring Valley to face the Cardinals, and the Durand, Arkansas Panthers will host the Mondovi Buffaloes. Meanwhile, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers will visit Boyceville to take on the Bulldogs. Now tonight, the Vikings are trying to bounce back from Thursday's loss and turn that strong effort into a win. In addition, the WIAA playoffs are just around the corner, and this is a good time to iron out any kinks in the system. Meanwhile, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves would very much like to find their way to the winning side for the first time this season. Now, these two teams met back on January 4th, with the Vikings dominating that game 81-24. Now, coming into this game, the Vikings are averaging 53 points per game on the season, while giving up only 37. On the other hand, the Wolves are scoring 20 while allowing 46. So with all that said, we'll have all the action of tonight's Dunn-St Croix Conference battle right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now in just a moment, I'll join our broadcast crew at Colfax High School as we bring you all of today's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help when your computer decides to not cooperate. It can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Maine Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Girls Basketball is on the air.
To the right side, they feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball.
No good on the shot. Rebound taken away by Shipman and puts the shot up and in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn-St Croix Conference.
To Nigaman, she launches a 3. She hit the 3!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
And good evening, and welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson here, along with Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax Viking Girls Basketball, as the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Vikings come into the game with an 8-2 conference record, while the Wolves are sitting at, check that, I think it's 8-3. But at any rate, the Wolves are sitting at 0-8. Vikings coming off that loss to the Elkmount Mounders by 9 points back on Thursday, and it really wasn't even a 9-point game. The Vikings were in that the whole way. They just couldn't close the gap, and otherwise they played pretty evenly with the Mounders. So they've got to right the ship tonight, and this might be the recipe that they needed, because the EPC Wolves are having a lot of trouble this year and not able to muster nary a win. So the Vikings are going to try and take advantage of that and right the ship, so to speak.
Yeah.
So Dan, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, for Colfax, it's on offense, it'll be about ball control the whole game and protect the baseline. EPC doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They're going to try to work it inside. And so I would guess we'll see Jeanette Hajdukovic and J.D. Anderson. They'll get a lot of action down low. EPC has to make sure that they know where the Colfax girls are at all time. They spread it out. They move all the way around the court. And you got to know where they are at all times. All of a sudden, one will get open and shoot a 3, and Colfax shoots a lot of threes. So that's what Elmwood Plum City's got to do, is cover the perimeter in the first half and try to figure out something in the second half.
Well, since you were talking about how they have to keep track of where the girls are, why don't you tell us what girls they have to keep track of?
Yeah, they are hard to keep track. They move all over the place. Here's the starters for EPC. They're going to go with freshman or junior number 3, Haley Webb. Freshman number 4, Brittany Beckel. Freshman number 10, Aurora Samper. Sophomore number 21, Willa Cripe. And sophomore number 30, Maddie Kopp. For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with 5'6" junior number 4, Kaysen Goodell. 5'5" senior number 20, Meadow Keltner. 5'7" senior number 32, J.D. Anderson. 6' senior number 40, Jeanette Hajdukovic. And 5'7" senior Number 42, McKenna Shevman.
Yeah, she was sitting out a couple games with her sprained ankle, and there you go. You already forgot her number.
Who is that person out there?
So for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, it all starts and stops with Haley Webb, the senior, and she shoots 40% from the floor, 56% from the free throw line, but she, like you mentioned, she's not a big three-point shooter. So it all starts and stops with her.
Yeah, it's a young team.
Yes. Now, since we've got a couple minutes before the start of the game, why don't we take this quick time out as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
Looking for a team approach to managing your finances? With over 70 years of experience and 12 locations, Derry State Bank has built a reputation for helpful customer service and support. While our service ethic is old-fashioned, our products and services are not. We offer a full range of loan programs as well as online banking, mobile deposit, and transaction alerts to fit your busy lifestyle. Derry State Bank, banking on relationships, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
And we're back here at Colfax High School as the teams are heading over toward their respective benches. And we're going to have the national anthem and player introductions coming up very shortly. Vikings coming into this game. I'm going to find it here because I had just talked about it. And I'm looking here. And still looking. I'll tell you what, we're going to send it down to the public address announcer, Mike Hodell, for the introduction to the national anthem and then the player introductions.
Would everyone please stand if able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart to honor the flag as the national anthem is played. Welcome to Colfax High School for tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Girls Basketball matchup between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the Wolves. A junior, number 3, Haley Webb. A freshman, number 4, Brittany Beckel. A freshman, number 10, Aurora Samper. A sophomore, number 21, Willow Bright. A sophomore, number 30, Maddie Cock. The Wolves are led by head coach Paige Santier. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings. Number 4, junior, Jason Goodell. Number 20, senior, Meadow Keltner. Number 32, senior, Jada Anderson. Number 40, senior, Jeanette Ayukovich. And number 42, senior, McKenna Shipman. The Vikings are led by head coach Courtney Serrano.
And so there's the starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll repeat those once again. For the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, it's Webb, Beckel, Samper, Kripe, and Kopp. For the Vikings, Goodell, Keltner, Anderson, Hajdukovic, and Shipman, the usual 5 starters for the Vikings. Jumping center for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves is Haley Webb. She's a junior forward. And waiting for the Vikings to come from their bench. And out they come. McKenna Shipman jumping center for the Vikings tonight. Little change of pace.
Yeah.
And the ball goes up. The ball gets tipped back. And finally picked up by the Wolves. They feed it to Webb. Webb over on the left side. Out into the left corner and then back out high to Samper. Samper feeds it down underneath. That's Kopp. She gets it over to Beckel. To Samper, drives it into the lane and gets tied up for a jump ball. Vikings will get the ball with the possession arrow. Shipman inbounds it to Goodell. Goodell down across the line. My goodness. To Anderson, then over to Goodell, comes down the right side, puts it up, no good. Rebound by Hajdukovic, she puts it back up and in. Wolves with it. This is Webb bringing it across the timeline. Takes it over to the left side, drives down the side of the lane, feeds it out to Samper. Then they get it out to Kripe and then over to Kopp. Kopp feeds it over to Samper and she walked with it. So the Vikings get it. Shipman inbounds. Goodell has it right through the center C. Over to the right side to Keltner, to the free throw line, out to Shipman. And Shipman tried to feed it over to the left side. It was knocked out of bounds by Beckel. So the Vikings will maintain possession. Keltner gets it to Goodell. She's high, wide, and left. Takes it over between the circles, feeds it down to the left elbow to Shipman to Keltner. Out to Hajdukovic at the top of the key underneath to Anderson, who puts it up and in. That's what you were talking about earlier, Dan. Getting Anderson open underneath.
Colfax being shifty.
Webb feeds it over to Samper. Then to Kopp. Kopp drives into the lane, puts it up. It's blocked by Hajdukovic. Over to Goodell. Goodell feeds it down underneath to Keltner, who lays it up and in. And quickly back down the floor come the Wolves. Samper with it, gets it out to the top of the key. That's Kripe. Kripe takes it down the left side, and the ball gets taken out of her arms by Goodell, but it also found its way out of Goodell's arms and out of bounds. So the Wolves have it. They get it into Beckel. Tries to feed it into the lane, picked up over there by Samper, and then out to the outside to Kopp, who put up the three. It's no good. Rebound taken away by the Vikings. Shipman with it. Thought about the three. Feeds it down underneath to Anderson, who lays it up and in. Jada Anderson with two more. 8-0. The Vikings have the lead. Putting the shot up is no good, and we're going to get a foul called as Beckel tried to cut across the lane, put the shot up, and she got fouled by Jada Anderson. So she'll be at the line for two. First shot is up, off the back of the iron, no good. Brittany Beckel. She's a freshman. As Dan was saying, this is a pretty young team. Second shot is up. That one's good. First point on the board for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Goodell with the ball between the circles, feeds it over to the right side to Keltner, to Goodell, to Hajdukovic, to Keltner from three, and she banked it off the glass and put it in.
It just might be one of those nights for Colfax. Bank one in.
So the Wolves have it down in the right corner. That's Kopp with it. Takes it into the lane, feeds it over to the left side. That's Beckel with it. Then out high to Samper. Feeding it out to Kripe, and we have some collision out there.
I think we got a foul.
Yeah, we got a foul on Goodell. And 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. J.C. Bovey, Sikora, Nigaman going in for the layup, and the ball gets partially blocked and then out of bounds. Jordan Bovey's out there, and also Sierra Shipman. Ball comes in, swinging it over to the right side to Samper. Now they try to get back to the left side. Ball stolen by Jordan Bovey. She drives into the lane, puts it up, no good. Pretty good collision before she went up with it, but no foul called. That one, had they called one, probably would have gone against Jordan.
I was waiting for the whistle on that one.
Ball comes in to Nigaman. Ball gets knocked away from her, but chased down by Jordan Bovey. Back out to J.C. Bovey, and then to Shipman, to Nigaman from the left elbow. She put it in. Autumn Nigaman with two, 13-1, Vikings on top. Haley Webb with it. Feeds it over into the right corner to Kopp. Then out to Samper, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound, chased down, loose on the floor, picked up by Kopp. She gets it over to Kripe. Then into the lane to Beckel, puts it up. We're going to get a foul called. Beckel kind of went into the fetal position for protection there because there were feet landing all around her.
Foul's at number 12.
J.C. Bovey with the foul. Shot goes up. That one's good. It's 3 fouls on the Vikings so far. Second shot is up. That one's short. Rebound chased down by Beckel. Gets it over to Kripe. Kripe feeds it over to the right side to Samper. Samper looking for somewhere to go now. She's tied up in the right corner. Ball's loose, and we're going to get an over and back called against the Wolves. Beckel chased it down, but it was in the backcourt. So the Vikings will inbound. Jordan Bovey over to J.C. Bovey. Gets it out to Sikora into the lane, puts it up, no good. She gets her own rebound. Gets it out to J.C., puts up a three. No, it doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Webb. Taking it down the floor, puts the brakes on. Gets it out to Kopp. Now they have it over to Kripe on the far side. Pass intercepted by Nigaman. to Sikora. Sikora lays it up. It doesn't go. She gets the rebound. Looking for somewhere to go. Feeds it out to Nigaman. Into Jordan Bovey. Puts it up, and she got fouled. So Jordan Bovey's going to go to the line for 2.
Foul's at number 3 for EPC.
So that's a foul on Haley Webb. First foul on Wolves. Jordan Bovey's free throw rims around and out. Second shot. It's on the way. And it's off the back of the iron, but chased down by Sikora. Gets it out to Jordan Bovey. Shot's no good. Nigaman steals the outlet pass and puts it up and in from the middle of the lane. And we're going to get a timeout called by the EPC Wolves. So the Vikings leading 15-2 with 12:32 to go. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Inbound pass ended up being knocked out of bounds. It'll be the Wolves' ball. Vikings putting on full court pressure. They get it into Croix. She gets trapped just before the timeline. Ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Jordan Bovey with it. Puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. Gets it out to JC Bovey. Puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Sierra Shipman. Gets it out to Sikora at the top of the key. Sikora works over to the left. Now comes back across. She's right between the circles. To Jordan Bovey. Out near the center circle. To JC Bovey on the left side. To Nigaman. Launches a 3 from the top of the key. No. Rebound taken down by JC Bovey. Puts it up. No. Rebound being battled for on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball called. Autumn Nigaman in there battling with Willow Crepe. Alternate possession arrow is with EPC. They get the ball into Crepe. And again, she gets tied up, and the ball gets taken away by the Vikings. And Jordan Bovey dragged her foot as she was trying to pass the ball away. Gets called for traveling. 15-2, the Vikings on top. Ball comes in to Beckel. She gets it over to Webb. Webb gets it across the timeline. Over on the right side. Long shot is up, no good. Long rebound is chased down by Beckel. To Kopp in the left corner. Back out high to Webb. Webb at the free throw line. Ran through traffic and lost a handle on the ball. Vikings come away. Sierra Shipman gets it over to JC Bovey. Bovey out to Sikora. Sikora over to Jordan Bovey. Jordan over to Sierra. To Nigaman. Launches a 3. She missed it. Rebound taken away by Beckel. Webb has the ball between the circles. Feeds it over to Samper. Back over to the other side now. Well, this is Samper. And the ball goes out of bounds. And we've got 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. The original starting 5 are back in.
Yeah, that's one thing about Colfax. You can always bring in the next 5.
Keeps the legs fresh. We'll see the benefit of that a little bit later on in this game. Long three-pointer put up by Kopp. It's no good. Rebound tied up. And they did call it a jump ball. Vikings ball. So Goodell has it right through the center circle. Over to Anderson on the left side. She takes it into the lane, puts a shot up and in. Jada Anderson with 2. 17-2, Vikings on top. Anderson steals it, takes it down the lane, lays it up and puts it in. 8 points for Jada Anderson on the night so far. They feed it down into the lane to Kopp, and Kopp's shot is no good. Goodell quickly down the floor to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. Vikings looking to get out and run.
Yeah, the starting 5 is clicking tonight.
This is Webb. She gets it over to the right side. To Beckel, back to Webb, to Kopp at the top of the key. Kopp takes it down the right side of the lane, then loses the handle. Gets it back out to Webb, who knocks it over to Kripe. Back to Webb, back to Kripe. Kripe takes it on the left side. Gets it to Kopp. Kopp takes it into the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound, and we're going to get a foul called on Beckel, I believe.
30.
Oh, I take that back. Fouls on Maddie Kopp. It's her first personal, second team foul on the Wolves. 8:57 to go in half number 1. Vikings on top, 21-2. Anderson has it on the right side, gets it out to Shipman, launches a 3. No, it won't go in. And it gets knocked out of bounds by the Wolves on the rebound. So it'll be Viking ball. That ball did everything but go through the hoop.
Yeah, that answered my question. She ran out there and pivoted, got the shot off, and no limp. We're good.
Pass intended for Hajdukovic, a little over the mark, and it was intercepted by Fessenmeyer, who has the ball. And she tries to feed it out to the top of the key, stolen by Goodell, who takes it down, lays it up, and puts it in. And we're going to get a timeout call by the Elmwood Plum City Wolves as the Vikings are on top. 23-2 as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera, and the Wolves have the ball. Vikings have a commanding lead. Kripe has it, high, wide, and right. Feed it to Webb on the right side of the lane. She gets it back out, high, long shot, goes up, no good, rebound. That was Callie Bruner with the shot. Shipman brings it down the floor, gets it to Goodell between the circles. Over to the right side to Anderson. Down underneath to Hajdukovic, and she puts it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic. The Wolves have it. They get it over to Fessenmeyer, who loses the handle, loses her footing, and Goodell comes away with the ball. Into the lane, feeds it out to Shipman, puts up the 3. She hit the 3. McKenna Shipman with the 3, 28-2, Vikings on top. Ball comes into Callie Bruner and down into the corner to Beckel. Beckel to Kripe, back to Beckel. Outside the arc, now she takes it to the side of the lane and is taken away by Anderson. She brings it down the floor, lays it up, puts it in the hole. 30-2. Vikings up by 28. Webb with the ball. Takes it over to the right side. Feeds it underneath over to Fessenmeyer. Shots it no good. Shipman with the rebound. Down the floor comes Shipman. She puts on the brakes. Gets it out to Anderson. Anderson launches a three. It doesn't go. Wolves come away with it. This is Beckel. Takes it right down the lane. Tries to put it up. It's blocked. And down the floor comes Goodell. She puts it up and it goes in. 32-2. Vikings on top. Haley Webb on the dribble. To Bruner, over to the right side. Then they try to feed it to Webb, and the ball gets knocked away by the Vikings, and Shipman has it. Down the floor she comes, puts up the three. She hit another three. McKenna Shipman with the three. Bruner with it, feeds it into the lane to Webb. Turns around, looking for the shot. Ball got knocked loose, picked up by the Wolves. Back out to Bruner on the left side. Tries to get it out to the top of the key. Again, stolen away by Goodell. Goodell takes it down, lays it up and in. That's got to be 3 or 4 steals by Goodell that have turned immediately into points.
6 girls for Colfax with points already.
Wolves have it over into the right corner to Beckel. She brings it out to the right wing. Tries to feed it back down in the corner. Ball's taken away by Shipman. She got tripped going down. And we have a whistle and jump ball being called. There's the test for her ankle for you there, Dan.
Yeah.
She got up without any trouble.
I think everybody flinched a little bit.
Yes, I think you're right. So the Wolves have it on the possession arrow. And bringing the ball down the floor right now is Sampier. She gets it over to Webb on the right side. She's on the right wing now. Over to Sampier, takes it down to the right baseline. Back out high to Kopp. And then over to Sauvy. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. J.C. Bovey feeds it down underneath, laying it up and in is Jordan Bovey. Sister to sister act there. J.C. to Jordan. Webb with the ball. She's on the left side. Feeds it out to Bruner. Now to the top of the key to Kopp. Kopp gets it over to the right side to Sampier. Now they feed it into the lane to Kopp. She's trying to find a way to go, and we've got a foul on the floor.
Number 12.
J.C. Bovey with her second foul. 4th team foul on the Vikings. Callie Bruner to inbound the ball. They feed it in to Kopp. She gets it out to Fessenmeyer, or Suave. Then over to Sampier. Back out to Suave. Over to Kopp in the corner. They feed it out to Sampier. Then they get it over to Beekle. One's Beckel and one's Beekle. Boy, Dan had a grin on his face when he told me about that one when he came back from the scores table.
So it depends what side of the highway you live on.
Kopp gets it to, well, they get it underneath and it gets taken away by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Sikora, had an open lane, she took it to the hole. 41-2, Vikings on top, 3:23 to go. This is Sampier with it. Gets it out high and then over to Sauve. Sauve feeds it out to Bruner. And then over to Beekle. Then to Sampere, back to Beagle, over to Sauve, and this is Kopp with it. Nigaman tried to tie it up and ended up knocking the ball loose. 4 in and 4 out for the Wolves. Haley Webb to inbound the ball. She's going to get it in to Beckel this time. Beckel has it. Takes it over to the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Webb. She puts it up and in. That's the first field goal of the night for the Wolves.
Yeah, good job by EPC to move that ball around and get an open girl.
41-4, Vikings on top. Jordan Bovey gets it over to JC, down underneath the Nigaman, puts it up and banks it home. Autumn Nigaman with another 2. 6 points for her. Webb with it between the circles, over to the right side to Sampere. Then to Kripe on the right wing. She brings it back out to the top of the key. Tries to feed it into the lane to Webb, and it's taken away by Sierra Shipman. Feeds it back out to Sikora off the iron with a 3-pointer, chased down by Nigaman. Gets it back to Sikora, takes it to the lane, puts it up off the glass and in.
4 points for Bryn Sikora.
Webb with the ball, feeds it over to the left side, back to Webb in the lane, tries to go up with it. She got fouled this time. I think it might be on Nigaman, just from the look on her face. Nope.
No,
it's on Sikora. Wolves getting ready to inbound the ball. Ball gets knocked loose, and it's going to be Wolves' ball. On the side, it was last touched by the Vikings. They get the ball in to Fessenmeyer, and then they feed it over to Beagle, and the ball gets taken away by Nigaman. She feeds it to Jordan Bovey with 1:20 to go. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, our Viking profile will be Jeanette Hajdukovic. Vikings have it, feeding it over to the right side. 3-pointer by Sierra Shipman. It's no good, knocked out of bounds, last touched by Autumn Nigaman. Wolves have the ball. They get it to Sauve. She's down at the left baseline, feeds it back out high to Fessenmeyer. Shots up no good, out of bounds. It'll be Wolves ball. Vikings got a piece of it. So inbounding the ball is Bruner. She gets it into Fessenmeyer. Then over to Sauve. Now over to the right side. It's Kopp with it. And it's going to be Viking ball as it heads out of bounds. Callie Bruner tried to save it. I think possibly the Wolves would have kept possession had she not touched it. Jordan Bovey over to Sierra, back out to Jordan. Vikings going to play for one shot here. Jordan to Sierra to Jordan to JC on the right. Back out to Jordan at the top, to Sierra on the left. Back out to Jordan, to JC. 13 seconds. Ball gets tapped. It's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be Wolves' ball. 8 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, the score on the board's not right. Oh, it is. Never mind.
Ball comes in. This is Sauve.
I thought there was a number missing, but there's not. Okay.
And we get a foul. The foul is being called on Sierra Shipman. It's her first. 6th team foul on the Vikings. Shot goes up, it's no good. This is Ali Save at the line. Second shot on the way. It's no good. Rebound taken down by J.C. Bovey. Long shot. Oh, almost went in. Hit the backboard, hit the front of the iron, back to the backboard. That was beyond the midcourt stripe. But we've reached halftime with the Vikings on top of the EPC Wolves 45-4. And we'll have Viking halftime coming up right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
In 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Jeanette Hajdukovic, a senior at Colfax High School. And Jeanette, we know you play basketball, but what are some other things you're involved with here at school?
I'm on the volleyball team, I'm on the track and field team, in NHS and student council.
And so when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
Third grade, like competitively, but like before that it was always like with my brothers. And it's been awesome. It's like allowed me to get really close to some of the girls in my grade and in other grades, and it's made me a better person and an athlete.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
How important like the relationships you build through like the things you're passionate about become in your life.
Okay, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Other sports. I like to bake, and that's pretty much it. I got a busy sports life.
But you like to bake and you haven't brought samples in?
No, soon.
Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Which flavor?
I don't know. Cherry chocolate chip now.
And yeah, then you're kind of like me. It's whatever you happen to be in the mood for at the time. I get that. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
And what do you want on that burger?
All of it, the works.
Everything we can pile on there. Let's do it. Okay.
No tomato.
No tomato, but everything else. Okay. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
I'm going with the same answer as the last 3 years. I'm going super strength.
Super strength. Yeah. Okay, and so of course if you are super strong, you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Jeanette's superhero name?
The Incredible Bulk. I'm keeping it.
Yeah, you might as well own it, right?
I think I actually last year I switched it, but I'm getting it back.
The Incredible Bulk. All right. Jeanette, your favorite NBA or WNBA team?
I don't watch a ton of I like college teams more, but the Bucks probably.
Okay, then what's your favorite collegiate team?
Stanford and UConn women's.
Okay. Is there a basketball player somewhere through the history, whether it be pro, college, local, whatever, who's influenced the way you play your game?
Cameron Brink. She's at Stanford.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Jeanette Hajdukovic on Viking Profile. And Jeanette, what are your plans for after high school?
College for sure, not sure where though.
Okay, all right. How about a shout out to the family?
Hi guys, hi mom, dad, siblings, everybody.
Okay, now this is at least the third one of these, maybe the fourth one of these that we've done. Do you think that maybe this year other places are going to get your name right?
We'll see. It's 50-50 shot every time.
And, I know you've got a thick skin about it because you hear it so often, but Hajdukovic is not that hard to say.
No, it's not. No.
And I did get a kick out of, at the sectional game, the people doing the live streaming, you were Hajduski through most of the game.
Yep.
But you know what? Hey,
first we hear all that matters.
We get it right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and that's the important one, right? Right. We want to thank Jeanette Hajdukovic for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. Basically, he had to relearn everything. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
And welcome back to Colfax High School, getting ready to start the second half. Vikings on top of the EPC Wolves, 45-4. Dan, why don't you let us know how we got there?
Here's some 4 points for EPC. Goes to Haley Webb at 2, and Brittany Beckel at 2 free throws. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 32, Jada Anderson. She has 10 points. Casey Goodell has 6. Meadow Keltner has 5. Autumn Nigaman has 6. Jordan Bovey has 2. Brent Score has 4. Jeanette Hajdukovic has 6. And McKenna Shimon has 6. 45-4, Colfax leads.
And basically, this has been a case, we said early that as goes Webb, So go the EPC Wolves, and the Vikings have done a good job of keeping her away from shooting the ball. She's touched the ball plenty of times, but never been open for a shot, with one exception, and she did score on that one. But they've held her to 2 points in the first half, held the whole team to 4 points. That's the second time this year they've done that.
Yeah, turnovers. That was the first half for EPC. They had lots of steals by Colfax. Colfax is handsy. They get their hands there, and they don't follow. They just get their hands there and tip the ball away, and they definitely scored points off those turnovers.
And one of the things they're doing a better job of tonight than they did over in Elmwood, or in Plum City when they played over there, is they're playing defense with their feet. They're getting in better position, which is allowing them to be more effective by being handsy without committing a ton of fouls.
Yeah, just get that ball loose, and if they get the ball loose, there's always another girl around to pick it up, and all of a sudden they're out in transition and they score points.
Vikings to have the ball to start the second half. Keltner inbounds it to Goodell. Vikings moving from right to left to Hajdukovic, back out to Goodell, over to Keltner on the right. High pass into Hajdukovic, just off her fingertips and out of bounds. Interesting idea. They were looking for the back door, and somebody closed the back door.
She's got to grow about 3 feet.
Webb feeds it over to Sampier. But Sampier loses the handle to Anderson. Anderson feeds it to Goodell. Down she goes and lays it up and in. Kason Goodell with 8 points. Haley Webb with the ball. She feeds it over to the right side, and then it goes back over to the left to Kripe. Then out to Beckel. Beckel between the circles. Looking for somewhere to go. She takes it off to the left. Down to the left baseline. Drives to the lane. Feeds it over to Webb. Webb, a jump shot. No good. Rebound taken down by McKenna Shipman. Gets it over to Goodell, who comes through the center circle. Goodell to Shipman. Out to Keltner. Three-pointer off the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by Shipman, and it's going to be an over and back called against the Vikings. She tried to throw it to Keltner, misconnected. So Webb will inbound it for the Wolves. She got it into Kripe, back to Webb on the right wing. Back out high to Sampier at the top of the key. Dribbles over to the right side. Back to the top of the key. Now passes off to the left side, down along the baseline. Shot goes up, partially blocked. Vikings try to save it, and Shipman had her foot on the end line when she grabbed it. That was Beckel with the shot. So the Wolves to inbound. Ada Ingley into the lineup. They get it over to her, and now she feeds it out high. Ball gets tapped loose by Goodell. Down the floor she comes. She lays it up. It doesn't go. Hajdukovic with the putback, and it goes in. 49-4. Down the floor comes Webb over on the left side. Does a spin move now down to the baseline, and we're going to get a foul called. I think it's going to be on Shipman. Yes, foul's on McKenna Shipman. It's her first team foul on the Vikings in this half. Ball comes in to Kopp. Kopp on the left side, finally tries to feed it out high, and it gets intercepted by Anderson. She lays it up and in.
12 points for her.
She's got an even dozen. Webb with the ball. Feeds it over to the right side, and that's Ingley. Ingley keeps hanging on to it. Anderson was challenging her. Ingley has it, trying the right baseline, and it went off of Anderson's leg and out of bounds. So it will be Webb to inbound. and they throw it over into the corner, and we're going to get a traveling call because she couldn't keep her feet. That was Croix. She was more up on the left wing, but they threw it over into the left corner. She had to go diving for it, and that's a travel.
Little Dunn-St. Croix info. Durand is playing tonight against Mondovi, and Spring Valley is playing Elmwood.
And the shot goes up and in by Jada Anderson. 53-4. By the way, the halftime score in that Durand, Arkansas Mondovi game was the Panthers 35 and the Mondovi Buffaloes 24.
And Elkbound is up 41-6.
A game similar to ours. Shot went up. We had a foul called on the shot. Fouls on McKenna Shipman. It's her second. And it's going to send Haley Webb to the line. Shot goes up. It's off the back of the air. No good. 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. And Callie Bruner comes in for the Wolves, giving Kopp a break. Shot goes up. This one's no good. Sikora with the rebound. She gets it over to J.C. Bovey, who brings it across the timeline. She's at the top of the key. Gets it out to Shipman, high, wide, and right. To Nigaman at the free throw line. Tries to feed it underneath to Sikora. Gets it out to Jordan Bovey. Short shot, no good. Put back by Nigaman. She went up and she got fouled on the way up.
Yeah, that first shot, she came up a little short. I don't think she knew that she was going to be so open.
I think you're right. By the way, that foul was on Callie Bruner, her first. Free throw by Nigaman is good. Second shot is up, off the back of the air, no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. She feeds it out to Bovey. That's JC. Over to Shipman on the left side. Back to JC Bovey. To the free throw line. Back out to Shipman. Shipman to Jordan Bovey on the left wing. Back out to JC Bovey between the circles. Back to Jordan. Over on the left side to Sierra Shipman. Down underneath to Nigaman. Puts it up, no good. Rebound. Tipped out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Nigaman kind of laughing. She came up kind of short on that. And again, she was open. Sikora tries to put the shot up, got collided with, but the shot was no good. Vikings chased it down. Sikora has it now at the left elbow, puts a shot up off the iron, no good. Nigaman with the putback, and it's a little too hard, won't go in, and we have it tied up. Wolves going to have the ball. Webb brings it down the floor, feeds it over to the left side, goes through the hands of Save, and then picked up over there by Sampier, and we have a foul. Foul is called on Sierra Shipman. Second personal. Third team foul on the Vikings. Pass comes in, finally chased down by Bruner. Feeds it down into the lane to Sampier, and the ball gets knocked loose and down the floor come the Vikings. Jordan Bovey feeds it out to Sierra. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebound by Nigaman. She got it to fall.
9 points for her.
That's just too shy of her season high. Webb with it down at the right baseline, feeds it out to Bruner on the right wing, takes it to the baseline, tries to feed it into the lane, and the Vikings come away with it. Jordan, or check that, that's J.C. Bovey, puts the shot up, it won't go, but she got fouled putting it up.
That was a 30.
That's going to be a foul on Maddie Kopp. Shot goes up and good by J.C. Bovey. That's the second foul on Kopp. Second team foul on the Wolves. Second shot is up. It's also good. So Haley Webb with it. 58-4. Vikings on top. They feed it out high, bring it over to the right side, try to feed it into the lane. Vikings come away with it. This is Sikora. She lays it up and puts it in. Coast to coast run by Bryn Sikora.
6 points for her.
Webb has it at the top of the key, looking for somewhere to go. Finally gets it over to Maxwell, and she took an extra step. 12:11 to go. We'll get to running time once we get down to the 9-minute mark. Vikings feed it over to the left side. Now back out to the top of the key, then to Sierra Shipman. Then back into the lane to Nigaman, who feeds it down underneath the Sikora. Off-balance shot. She put it up and in. 8 points for Bryn Sikora. Webb with it. Over to the right side, and the pass gets tipped away. Vikings come away with it. J.C. Bovey lays it up, no good. Sierra Shipman, no good. Rebound batted around, and the Wolves come away with it finally. Webb brings it down the floor. Sampere, then over to Bruner, and down underneath to Maxwell. Shot goes up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Long pass to Sierra Shipman. She lays it up and in. And we get a timeout on the floor with 11:08 to go in the ballgame. It's Vikings 64 and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 4. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Colfax High School, this one not much doubt. Vikings 64, Elmwood Plum City 4, and the Wolves bring it down the floor. On the dribble is Kripe. She feeds it over into the right corner to Beckel, and the ball gets knocked away by the Vikings. They just cannot penetrate the lane with their passes. Nigaman has it at the free throw line. Ball gets knocked loose in the lane, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Wolves. And down the floor come the Wolves. Kripe with it over on the left side. Back out high to Sampere. Long three-pointer's up. It doesn't go down. Rebound finally hauled out of there by Nigaman. She gets it over to J.C. Bovey, then over to Shipman, puts up a three, and she hit the three. Kripe with it, feeds it over to the right or left side. That was to Maxwell, back to Kripe. Down at the left baseline, shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. That was Engley with the shot. Bovey, J.C. Bovey takes it into the lane, lays it up a little too hard. Sikora with it, no good. Rebound, and it'll be Wolves ball, last touch by the Vikings. We're going to get 5 in and 5 out for the Vikings. And Webb gets the ball. She comes across the timeline, top of the key, feeds it over to Samper, then over to the right side to Engley. Engley back out high to Maxwell at the top of the key. To Webb in the lane, turns around, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Anderson. Anderson to Goodell. Goodell across the timeline, stops at the top of the key. Over to Shipman, takes it into the lane, puts it up and puts it in. McKenna Shipman with 2 more.
8 points for her.
We're under 9 minutes to go. Engley with it at the top of the key. Gets it over to Beckel on the near side. And the ball ends up going out of bounds. It was pass intended for Engley, but just a little too long. And the Vikings will have it. Goodell brings it across the timeline to Shipman from 3. She hit the 3. McKenna Shipman with another 3. 72-4. Vikings on top. Ball comes over to Beckel on the right side. She's on the right wing. Takes it down to the right baseline. Tries to feed it across, and it goes off the leg of Shipman. And we're going to get 5 in and 5 out. And amongst these 5 in, we have Clara Hajdukovic and Jenny Maves and Layla Hurlbert are amongst those who came in. Wolves get the ball. Long shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Samper. Her putback was no good, and the Vikings come away with it. Jordan Bovey on the dribble. Gets it over to Sierra Shipman. Down to Clara. Then out to Layla Hurlbert. Shots up off the iron. No good. Clara with a putback. No good. And away come the Wolves. Webb has it. High, wide, and left. Back over to Engley on the right. They try to feed it to Webb into the lane. It's knocked out of bounds by Bovey. Webb to inbound. Gets it into Beckel. Shot goes up and in. Those are the first points scored by the Wolves this half.
Brittany Beckel with 4 points.
So down the floor come the Vikings. Hajdukovic gets it out to Maves. Over to Bovey. Out to Shipman. And then to Hajdukovic from the free throw line. No good. Rebound taken down by the Wolves. That was Clara Hajdukovic with the miss. Samper. Now they feed it over to the left side. It goes out of bounds. Pass was intended for Beckel. And it'll be Viking ball. Coming into the lineup for the Wolves is Callie Bruner for Ada Engley. Jordan Bovey on the dribble. Gets it over to the left side to Sierra Shipman. Back over to Jenny Maves, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings, but between them came the Wolves, and they feed it down to Haley Webb, who puts it up and in. And down the floor comes Haley Webb, and the ball gets knocked loose. And into the lane goes Sampere. And her shot is no good.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now my mic's back.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, the lineup that's out there right now, Colfax and EPC, this one matches up a lot better.
And second shot is up. It's no good. Pass comes into the lane, and the shot from the free throw line for the Wolves by Maxwell is no good. Vikings have it across the timeline. Jordan Bovey feeds it over to Jenny Maves. Out to Sierra Shipman, out to Clara Hajdukovic, who tries to feed it down to the baseline. Intended for Layla Hurlbert. And down the floor come the Wolves. Beckel with a long shot, bounced high off the glass, and it's only a 2. She had her foot on the line when she made the shot. 72-10, Vikings on top. They feed it out to Hurlbert. Jump shot from the elbow is no good. And Webb brings it down the floor. Feeds it down low, and the shot goes in by Maxwell. 72-12. Vikings bring it down the floor. They get it over to Maves. Then Hajdukovic puts it up off the back of the air. No good. Rebound taken away by the Wolves, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. Sierra Shipman inbounds it. Jordan Bovey back to Sierra. They try to get into Clara Hajdukovic. She chases it down after it got batted away. Out to Bovey to Shipman on the left. To Hajdukovic at the free throw line. Out to Bovey. They swing it over to Maves. Back out to Bovey. To Hurlbert. To Maves. Three-pointer. She hit the three! Jenny Maves with a three-pointer. Ball comes down in the right side. That's Bruner. Back out to Maxwell. Back to Bruner. Bruner takes it down to the baseline. Feeds it and gets knocked away. Taken away by Hajdukovic. Gets it over to Shipman and then to Bovey. 75-12. Vikings on top. Hajdukovic. Hurlbert out to Maves. To Bovey. To Shipman. Takes it down to the left baseline. Tries to get it to Hajdukovic, but the ball ended up on the baseline, and it will be the Wolves' ball. Minute 50 remaining.
Yeah, you know, if people would watch this right now, this is probably what next year will look like for both teams. Both got sophomores and freshmen in.
To some degree.
Yeah, we'll see
I would agree with you.
who comes back, but...
Three-pointer on the way for the Wolves. That was by Bruner. Is no good. Then they get the rebound, feed it down underneath. That was Maddie Kopp with the shot. 75-14. Feed it over to the right side. Vikings have it. Hurlbert has it now. Out to Bovey, to the right side to Shipman. Shipman out to Bovey. Over to the left side to Maves. Back out to Bovey. To Hurlbert, back to Bovey. Long pass over to Shipman. To Hurlbert. To Hajdukovic. They swing it back out. Long three is no good by Hurlbert. About 40 seconds remaining in the game. Maxwell with it. Outside the three-point arc. Takes it down to the baseline. Ball gets knocked loose. She picked it back up. Got it out to Croix. They feed it over to the right side. Three-pointer's good. That one's by Brittany Beckel.
9 points for her.
And down the floor come the Vikings, taking their time. I think they're just going to run the clock here. They may not even get another shot off. Shipman out to Bovey, 5 seconds, back to Shipman. She's just holding the ball, back to Bovey. She's just holding it, and that's going to do it. There's the buzzer, and the final score, Colfax Vikings 75, and the EPC Wolves 17. We will have all the details of this one coming up right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network at NLWN-TV and Viking TV. Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Looking for a team approach to managing your finances? With over 70 years of experience and 12 locations, Derry State Bank has built a reputation for helpful customer service and support. While our service ethic is old-fashioned, our products and services are not. We offer a full range of loan programs as well as online banking, mobile deposit, and transaction alerts to fit your busy lifestyle. Derry State Bank, banking on relationships, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
To get your lawn or garden to perform and attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Two flashlights. Some flashlights. I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start chocolate dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have come away 75-17 winners over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, raising the Vikings record to 9-3 in the conference and 14-7 overall. The Wolves dropped to 0-12 in the conference and 0-18 overall. The winner and loser of this game was not very much of a surprise. I think the magnitude with which it happened was a bit of a surprise, and the way the Vikings totally dominated the first half and the Wolves had a chance to get some self-respect a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, that was a good matchup there at the end. That when Colfax is playing, they started 4 seniors, and Elmwood, Plum City, they played a sophomore, 2 freshmen, and a junior. And yeah, you can just see the knowledge level, the conditioning level, but girls got 3-year advantage, and if the girls for Plum City, Elmwood stick with it, they can get there too.
Well, that's the critical thing. They have to keep their heads up and stick with it, because the temptation after a loss like this is to hang your head and say, I've had enough of this. And I hope they don't do that, because they're young. They will come along. Good things will happen. And as you said, those last few minutes where the 3 girls that came from deep off the bench for the Vikings, who normally play JV ball, and then a couple of younger varsity players were out there against Elmwood Plum City. Elmwood Plum City was holding their own very nicely. And so,
and
they've got to focus on that.
Yeah, that's sports. You learn as you go along and try to get some conditioning somewhere along the way, and you're going to win some and you're going to lose some.
75-17. Dan, why don't you tell us how we got there before Coach Serrar comes up here?
His scores tonight for the Wolves. They're
you
led
better
by,
do it fast.
Brittany Beckel had 9. We had Haley Webb with 4. We had Maxwell with 2. And Kopp with 2.
I'll tell you what, let's wait and do the Vikings.
Yeah, because there's quite a few.
Get Coach Serrar up here. And Coach, well, congratulations on a 75-17 win. Sometimes you can kind of just enjoy the game.
Yeah, it was a good win. I thought, we did a lot of good things. I thought we transitioned really well. I thought we were super aggressive on the rebounds. We moved the ball well. Lots of people contributed to the scoring column, which was good to see.
And we talked about it a little bit in Coach's Corner, and that was one of the things you wanted to see tonight, was the Vikings playing better defensive ball with their feet. And I don't know, I'm not real well educated in that, but it sure looked to me like they were using their feet to get where Elmwood Plum City didn't want them to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. I challenged them. Last time we didn't come out very good defensively, and they were much better this time around. And if we want to keep getting better, we just have to make sure that we're doing the little things right. And I thought we did a good job of that tonight.
And one of the things that was really surprising, for the second time this season, you've held an opponent to 4 points in the first half. This time you were gracious. You let them have a field goal. But you held Haley Webb down to, what did you have there, Dan? 4 points? 4 points. She's our leading scorer. You basically closed her out.
Yeah, I thought, McKenna did a great job on her. Bryn did a good job on her. You could tell that they were really frustrated with just our defense in general. So it was a good win.
I saw a lot of faces of the girls from up here, and they sure looked like they were having, even when things didn't go quite right, they were still having fun down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations on that win. Coming up Friday, Glenwood City. You know anything about them? What do you expect?
Yeah, I think they've gotten consistently better this season, so we'll just have to go out and take care of business.
Well, there you go. Again, congratulations. Thank you for joining us on Viking Postgame. And we'll have more Viking Postgame right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Friday, February 9th, when the Vikings will travel to Glenwood City, Wisconsin to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Friday, February 9th.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came here for.
Our next game will be on Thursday, February 8th, when the Vikings will travel to Elk Mound, Wisconsin to take on the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Thursday, February 8th.
Spring is on its way, and the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV are excited to once again be your home for Colfax High School baseball.
Yeah.
Join us as we follow the Colfax Vikings as they battle their way through the Dunn-St Croix Conference. We'll carry Viking home games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Vikings come away 75-17 winners over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Dan, you already told us about the EPC Wolves and their scoring. Why don't you let us know who did what for the Vikings?
Here's scores tonight for Colfax. They were led by number 32, Jada Anderson. She had 14 points. We had McKenna Shipman with 11. Then we had Kason Goodell with 8. JC Bovey had 2. Meadow Keltner had 5. Autumn Nigaman had 9. Sierra Shipman had 5. Bryn Sikora had 8. Jeanette Hajdukovic had 8. And Jennifer Maves had 3. 75-17. Colfax gets the win.
Okay. And the Vikings it was a total domination tonight. The game from the opening couple minutes was never in doubt. And the Vikings just kind of took it to them. And, you got to hand it to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Those girls stayed scrapping out there, and they kept working, and I want to give them credit for that. It's going to take them a while to get that program built back up where it needs to be, and I suspect that within the next few years, it's going to be there.
Yeah, you got a good team that kind of can build together, freshmen, sophomores, and keep them all interested and out on the court, and it should be fun.
And this year, the Vikings have got some things to play for. Remember, last year, they made a trip to the state tournament, and I know they would love to find a way to do that. The WYA playoffs are coming up. They begin 2 weeks from tonight for the girls. I don't think the Vikings will be playing that night. We don't know the seeding just yet, but chances are Vikings are going to draw a first-round bye, and they will play on that Friday of that week in their regional game.
Yeah, they're kind of in a battle with Durand right now.
And that's a pretty critical battle within the conference, and the Durand Arkansas Panthers, our most recent score with about 3 minutes left, we're leading the Mondovi Buffaloes 76-41. Vikings and the Panthers are tied right now for second place in the Dunn-St Croix Conference. And so it looks like that tie will not be broken tonight. But Vikings still have some basketball to play coming up on Friday. Well, make sure you join us here on NLWN-TV along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Friday night. That's February 9th, as the Viking girls will travel to Glenwood City to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That's a Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:40 p.m. That'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax Girls Basketball Friday night against the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. But before that, join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Thursday night, as the Viking boys will journey to Elk Mound to take on their arch rival, the Elk Mound Mounders, in a Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup. Viking pregame begins at 6:40 p.m. That's Viking boys basketball on Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Hey, this reminder that next week, Monday and Thursday, are parent-teacher conferences at the Colfax schools. Be sure to stop in and see your child's teacher and be part of the team on your child's education. Tonight's Colfax Viking Girls Basketball game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality, personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV and Viking TV. And speaking of moms, I want to wish a happy birthday to my mom. She is 98 years young today, and she's sticking around. And,
hopefully she doesn't ground you and let you come out and play games.
Then I can come out and play, especially Thursday night and Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important stuff. Okay, so for Dan Petchow and Chris Olson, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, Colfax Vikings 17, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, or Colfax Vikings 75, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 17. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.